Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for taking the time, and I hope you had a fantastic long weekend. We previously spoke on Wednesday after hours, an amazing day in which we broke through our 4-hour 200 EMA. Friday was much of the same, breaking through our previous high, but rejecting our 1-day 200 EMA, which is a major resistance level. If we zoom out from our 15 to our 1-day, we'll see this previous rejection, which was also off the consequent encroachment of this bearish fair value gap. Now we are rejecting the 200 on the 1-day as well as that fair value gap once more. We will need to invalidate both of these to reclaim our price targets, right? I do still have hope for this. However, there will be some volatility tomorrow due to the annual shareholder meeting. I suspect that the market reacts to the confirmation of the increase in authorized shares, right? Which would denote potential dilution in the future. And we have to remember that it's not necessarily how you and I interpret the news, but the market, right? It's the high frequency trading and the hedge funds. These individuals and entities will trade the news for what it is. They are not going to pair it with a what if of the future. Dilution is not necessarily great for a company's stock price. We've seen a reaction to the proposal of this dilution already, crushing us down from 28 to 21, right? Now, it could be pre-baked in, absolutely. However, if there was ever a time to kill the momentum of our current run, it will be tomorrow. So we want to make sure that we scale out, because it's not just the 200, which is a massive rejection. It's not just that bearish fair value gap. And it's not just the potential with the meeting tomorrow and press release that is accompanied by it. Just be aware, again, I'm still bullish on GameStop. However, there could be some turbulence throughout the rest of the week. So we killed last week. We had some calls go 230%, some individuals locking up 290. We're back up to it today. No good, right? And loading in and scaling out already. However, we want to still hold some exposure for tomorrow. And we'll see how it goes. Set your stop loss at your entry. If you're missing out on these calls, if only there was some Discord that you could join for free to get it all in real time. Again, 76% so far on those 22.5s, which is nice. And again, 22 YOLO and weeklies, not sure if we'll get it. And then I'm kind of looking at this and I notice that we're right above the 4-hour 200, right? So, okay, I like that. That's really good risk reward. So what that means is our entry is close to our stop loss, right? And the distance between is not much. So we are entering just above that 4-hour and we are putting our stop loss just below, right? So that risk reward is really nice on these weeklies. That's what makes it worth it. I don't typically play GameStop options. The liquidity is bad. It's hard to get good fills. However, sometimes you do have a nice opportunity. And again, these are up to 60 cents this afternoon, which is nice. So scale out, maybe leave 25, 15% for the remainder of the week. And maybe we get another 200% play. I don't know. Who can say? And again, just kind of guiding the trade throughout the day for everybody. All other things, GameStop, Trump's talking trash about short sellers, and again, TA updates as we go, which is really nice. We had a downtrend breakout here in the afternoon, which is pretty cool. So kind of going through that, and just it's a busier day in the Discord, right? And so here's the downtrend. We have that, and then breakout, retest, then confirmation. So even though it's just on the 1-minute chart, you can see how it reacts in real time. And it's just good to know all of these things, right? So some people scaling out early, right? And selling all when I say to scale out with no runners. And that's how you know, like I'm kind of forecasting rejection, but because there's these individuals like, okay, I'm all out. We nailed it. We're going to pump so hard, probably 5,000% on these this week. And then in the future, they'll be like, oh, that's why I scale out, right? I think someone's going to learn a lesson this week. And I'm all for it, right? I still have runners, leaving a little bit of exposure to the event because, I suspect that we sell off a little bit tomorrow, have a bit of a reset in momentum, a price retracement. Not to say that we don't come back, but just due to the confirmation of the increase in our authorized shares for GameStop, which again, you and I know is for eBay. But the market is not going to look at that. They're going to say, all right, GameStop's got a bunch of shares. They're ready to do something stupid with them, right? Not to say that they're looking at eBay, but just the potential of diluting your stock isn't great, right? Specifically when you're trading at the current levels. We're not necessarily squeezing. A dilution when you squeeze is, no brainer, of course, but, when you're bouncing off your floor, so the market may not necessarily pair this event with the upcoming events and acquisitions, etc. Even though you and I know this, it's algorithmic trading. It's going to look at the headline. It's going to say, all right, I've seen this headline 50,000 times before, and 85% of those times, the price is sold off. So we sell it, right? And then all of these algos are doing the same thing, and that's what I suspect will happen. Of course, could be wrong, right? Maybe the floodgates finally break, and away we go, and we hit those price targets. Of course, that one day 200 is going to act as resistance. And even if we do break above, we need to base upon it if we're going to go higher, right? I don't know if we'll break right to those price targets on our first go. If we do, it may take a retest on the 200 and then go, right? But maybe we grab it and then don't even retest and just break back down. That could be as well. It's quite hard to say. We'll have to wait and see how the market interprets our annual shareholders call. Maybe it pays no attention to it at all. That's an option as well, right? But again, because of that uncertainty, we need to scale out ahead of time, right? It's like a sell the news almost. Tomorrow's going to be the news. It's like buy the rumor, sell the news. Annual meetings coming, right? And we've done fantastic. We're in off bottoms, right? We had this massive downtrend breakout, right? We even were coaching sell side liquidity non-confirmation entries if you go back. And then we had our first flag, fantastic. Second flag, fantastic. And rejecting that one day 200. So, as far as I'm concerned, we're already winners for the play, right? If you have this trade turn red, I don't know how to help you. I'll continue to do my best. I think we've been doing a great job, but we're going to need to reevaluate whatever you're doing here, right? Because we gave really good entries and coached the whole way. Maybe you're not in the Discord is the problem. You got to join the Discord, right? So, again, it's free. Not charging for that yet. Might go to half cash, half stock. Haven't decided. And we'll just play it as is, right? We're going to see how that meeting goes tomorrow. It's at 10 a.m. Eastern. And just wait for the market to interpret it, and we'll follow, right? We're just kind of at the traffic lights waiting to see which color it goes. On that note, we're at 3.63 million volume today with a daily average of 5.6, right? Not only is our current volume just been evaporating, our daily average is clicking down alongside it at this point, even more so as the days roll on. Not necessarily a bad thing. I like a low daily average volume. To me, and I mentioned breaking of dams earlier, right? So let's explore this analogy maybe a little bit, where you have a dam, which is a company, and the size of the dam is their market cap, right? Then you have the amount of water that the dam lets through, which is your daily average, right? Which changes again, and it doesn't matter how big your dam is, right? It's just what the dam is doing, right? That's what the demand is for electricity or whatever, right? And then up above your dam, you've got like your resting liquidity And so the water going through is not just your average, but it's like your average buy volume, right? Because there is buy and sell volume for your relative volume, and I guess that's what we'd be tracking within this ratio. And so your relative buy volume is the water going through the dam. Then your resting liquidity is like the free float, right? And then also the sell orders or relative sell side is just back into the free float, right? And then how do you break the dam, right? Because that's kind of what we're looking to do. And that's just normal dam operations. But when you have the volume increase, right? The amount of relative buy volume going through the dam gets to a point where the dam can no longer support it structurally, right? And that's where we come into a comparison of market cap and how big the dam is, what it's rated for, right? At which point you would overload and break the dam, right? So enough relative buy volume can blow up any dam, but the amount of that would be dependent upon the size and strength of the dam and the market cap of those companies, right? So it's very easy to break the dam of a small market cap company, and that's typically what we're doing in our small cap trades, right? This is what the volume imbalance is all about, but just, I don't know, trying to throw it out there so people can kind of visualize it. So small dam is very easy to break because there's a lot of, resting liquidity in the market, and it's easy to overflow it with the buy volume. However, the bigger that company in market cap gets, the harder that is to do, because now instead of, let's say you have a 500 million company and you throw $10 billion at it, right? That's going to overload the dam, and you're going to have a massive short squeeze. Well, maybe not a short squeeze, but just a squeeze, right? And opposed to having GameStop at 10 billion, and then you throw 10 billion at it, or you throw 15 or 20 billion at it, it's still not going to do what you need it to, right? And there's only ever so much volume in the market. So that's where it's nice to have kind of a spotlight on GameStop, right? It's nice to have those press releases, because that's helping, and bullish catalysts, because it's helping to drive that buy volume. It's giving a reason to outside investors that aren't super stonk to come in, right? And then, here's my liquidity to the pawn, and we're going to, here's relative buy volume, and that's taking out of the free float. And if everybody's doing that together, then it can overwhelm the dam. But again, with GameStop, that would take so much, because it's a strong company. It sounds like a bad thing, but it's also kind of a good thing, right? Having a strong company with a sturdy market cap isn't bad, right? So with that being said, we're waiting on volume. Volume's not great. However, the lower this daily average gets, the easier it becomes to kind of overwhelm the dam, right? It will still take a lot. We're at 10 billion, but if we can throw, 100 billion at it, that's gonna get it going for sure. However, I don't think the market is ready to do that, and we could potentially retrace tomorrow. However, I could be wrong. And we'll be wrong once. But it's about protecting yourself on the way up, right? And I think we've done a good job of that. I'm pretty sure I butchered that analogy, but that's kind of how it works as far as I can see it. I'll keep working on that. That was a rough draft. You got to give me a break. And I'm terrible at articulating even the most basic ideas. So I hope you guys had a fantastic day. If you found the video entertaining or educational at all, I doubt it. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. How can I improve, right? Join the community Discord. Oh, I can't find the Discord link. Hello, good game link tree. You can sing it as a song while you type it in. It'll help you, just like I do. Join the community Discord. It's that easy. Hello, good game link tree. Boom. 223 online. 20 160, 2,160 members, which is fantastic. So, um, yeah, if you ever are looking for technical analysis by someone with dyslexia, I've got you covered, right? There's no problem, and we'll get you on the right foot here. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow.